Zelensky Bad news. The reason why Erdogan and Putin of Turkey and Russia share a common message in Africa. Both Ankara and Moscow are interested in capitalizing on post-colonial resentments and are reluctant to condemn military coups, both of which help Turkey in its efforts to expand its influence in Africa. Recent military coups in West Africa, the most recent one in Niger last month, show how closely Turkish and Russian interests align in an effort to use political shifts to the disadvantage of former colonial powers, most notably France, and to increase their own sway in the region. Presidents Recep Tayyip Erdogan of Turkey and Vladimir Putin of Russia, both eager to take advantage of openings created by the new African governments, have refrained from criticizing the putschists who rode the wave of popular resentment against the continued influence of former colonial powers and the failure of Western-led anti-terror operations. Putin said as much at a Russia-Africa summit in St. Petersburg shortly after the coup in Niger on July 26. He said that remnants of colonialism underlie instability across much of Africa. Erdogan has been using this type of language for years, especially in reference to France. Destruction of France. Erdogan's opportunism was on full display in 2020 when he quickly dispatched Foreign Minister Mevlut Cavusoglu to Mali after a coup there. Ankara appears to have learned its lesson after the blunder in Mali and has become more cautious since the coup in Niger. A statement from the Foreign Ministry said, "We follow with deep concern the coup attempt perpetrated by a group within the armed forces in Niger, which resulted in the removal from duty of President Mohamed Bazoum, who came to power through democratic elections, and the suspension of all democratic institutions, but stopped short of condemning the coup. We pray that constitutional order, social peace, and stability do not weaken in peaceful and hospitable Niger. Turkey will remain a reliable ally to Niger during this time of crisis." After the coup in Burkina Faso in 2022, Ankara issued a statement that was nearly identical to the one issued now. Juntas can claim they are not without options by trumpeting the support they are receiving from Russia and Turkey as they break ties with France. Emmanuel Macron, the president of France, has publicly blamed Moscow and Ankara for trying to stir up anti-French sentiment in Africa. In an interview set to air in 2020, he explained, "There is a strategy at work, sometimes led by African leaders, but especially by foreign powers such as Russia or Turkey who play on post-colonial resentment. We must not be naive on this subject. Many of those who speak, make videos, and who are present in the French-speaking media are funded by Russia or Turkey." Russia used the unrest in Mali and Burkina Faso to increase its presence through the Wagner Group, a private military company funded by Moscow, while Turkey attempted to strengthen military ties through training programs and arms sales, including combat drones. In 2021, Turkey exported $288 million worth of military equipment to Africa, up from $83 million in 2020. Algeria, Burkina Faso, Chad, Ghana, Kenya, Mali, Mauritania, Morocco, Niger, Nigeria, Rwanda, Senegal, Somalia, and Uganda are now among Turkey's 14 African clients. During a phone call with junta leader Assimi Goïta in September 2021, Erdogan signaled his willingness to increase military cooperation with Mali. Since then, Mali has received 6 Turkish-made Bayraktar TB2 drones, 3 in April and the rest in December 2022. Turkey's embassy in Bamako first opened in 2010, and in 2018, Erdogan made his first trip there as president. Last year, trade between the two countries totaled $107 million, up from $23 million in 2013. The close, cooperative relationship between Ankara and Mogadishu, where Turkey maintains a military training base, and Mali is still light years ahead. Russia has a leg up on Turkey in terms of public opinion in North and East Africa because it does not have the same negative associations with the Ottoman Empire that Turkey does. Additionally, Moscow has it easier than NATO member Turkey due to bilateral ties fostered during the Cold War. France's main rival in Burkina Faso and Niger appears to be Russia, while in Mali France's main rival was seen to be Turkey, along with Russia. For Turkey's opening to Africa, Niger's role as a connecting point between Western and Eastern Africa is more significant than Mali's. Since opening an embassy in Niamey in 2012, Turkey and Niger have signed 29 agreements. In 2013, Erdogan visited, and in 2014, President Mahamadou Issoufou visited Ankara. After meeting with Erdogan in 2022, Bazoum visited Turkey in 2021 for a diplomatic forum where Turkish Vice President Fuat Oktay was in attendance. Since 2021, a large number of other high-ranking Nigerian officials and ministers have also traveled to Turkey. An agreement on military training cooperation was among the deals signed by Foreign Minister Cavusoglu during his visit to Niger in July 2020, when bilateral trade reached $134 million, up from $46 million in 2012. Erdogan promised to increase Niger's defense capabilities after speaking with Bazoum over the phone in November 2021, saying that Turkey would provide the country with TB2 drones, armored vehicles, and Hercus light trainer and combat aircraft. Since then, at least 6 terabytes TB2s have been shipped to Niger, but reports of a future Turkish military base in the country have not been verified. Ambassadors were recalled from France, Nigeria, Togo, and the United States by the junta in Niger, but only military agreements with France were cancelled. Defense ties with Turkey are likely to remain unbroken regardless. Ankara is hoping to protect and expand its gains in Niger in the new chapter, but it is hesitant to explicitly condemn the coup and opposes an intervention by the Economic Community of West African States. The Turkish capital may suffer repercussions from increased instability. An upheaval in Niger could have serious consequences for Turkish interests elsewhere in Africa. There needs to be a more in-depth analysis of how these events might affect Libya because of the potential for a regional escalation of militia warfare. The North African nation is still working to unify its institutions and prepare the ground for elections after years of civil strife. Turkey wants to keep the agreements it made with Libya's Tripoli-based government regarding military cooperation, maritime delineation, and energy exploration. Chadian, Nigerian, and Sudanese mercenaries have joined the warring factions in Libya, led by Khalifa Haftar's Eastern Forces. As the most prominent militia group supporting Haftar's forces, Wagner has proven to be Russia's greatest gain from the Libyans' penchant for using them. While Turkey and Russia may be on the same page strategically, Ankara would prefer that the Russian presence in Africa be limited to Libya. The shifting political landscape in Africa may present opportunities for Turkey to expand its spheres of influence, but the country is unlikely to establish permanent bases in Somalia or de facto bases in Libya anytime soon.